Hi class, so for my group's portfolio project, we decided to focus on domestic violence, and one of my hotspots was Nigeria. Between half and two-thirds of Nigerian women are subject to domestic violence in their homes. In this picture, this woman is advocating for domestic violence to stop. Nigeria's discriminatory laws and dismissive police compound its particularly high rates of domestic violence. Its prevalent culture of silence and stigma for the victims of domestic violence hinders public acknowledgement of the problem. In this picture, you can see that this woman is being brutally attacked by a male. On a daily basis, Nigerian women are beaten, raped, and even murdered by members of their family for supposed transgressions, which can range from not having meals ready on time to visiting family members without their husband's permission. In this picture, you can see that this woman is either being physically or emotionally attacked. Husbands, partners, and fathers are responsible for most of the violence. In this picture, this woman is advocating for violence to stop as well. Nigerian women are expected to behave with subservience to their husbands, and domestic violence is often expected as part of their marriage. In this picture, it's just a logo of Nigerian Women Against Violence.
With dignity. Well, in Nigeria, the statistics are quite horrendous. For example, over 50% of women are routinely abused by their husband. 1 in every 2 women that you see walking around the street are potentially abused by their spouse.
And then for my next hotspot, I chose to do Iran. So, the patriarchal structure, cultural traditions, and religious edicts prevalent in Iranian society create a climate in which women are seen as men's property, and domestic violence thus becomes an accepted expression of male dominance. And this picture is just a fact stating that 1 in 3 women and girls experience violence in their lifetime. About 88% of women in Iran's Kurdistan province reportedly experience some form of abuse. And in this picture, it's just showing that they are protesting for their rights. 66% of married women in Iran are subjected to some kind of domestic violence in their first year of their marriage, either by their husbands or by their in-laws. And this is just a picture reinstating that violence needs to stop against women. The more children in a family, the more likely domestic violence will occur towards women. And this is just a picture showing a woman who has been beaten, but you can tell that she wants peace. 9.63% of women in the study reported wishing their husbands would die as a result of the abuse they've experienced. This is just showing women being attacked. And in this video, it is a commercial that is showing how men treat women, but in this video, it's role reversal, so it's showing how it would feel to be attacked by women instead of men attacking women. So it just shows what it feels like to be a woman in Iran. And for my next hotspot, I chose to do Saudi Arabia. The number of reported harassment cases against women and juveniles in Saudi Arabia has reached 2,797 in 1 year. And this is just showing a picture of a woman who really doesn't have like the freedom and feels imprisoned. 5.23% of married women in the study reported having experienced near-death violence or feared for their lives due to domestic violence. This is just showing how she could be bruised, but it doesn't have to always be seen. It could always be like emotional, not just physical. 8.37% of married women in the study reported having experienced severe physical abuse. And then this is just a picture reinstating that verbal abuse is the same as physical abuse, although it is not seen. From these 2.10% who reported sexual abuse, 5.2% reported having a miscarriage due to severe beatings by her husband. This picture is just showing that violence is not the answer, that they should solve their conflicts using words and not just directly go to beating women. 52% of married women in the study reported having experienced emotional abuse. So this picture is just showing that violence is not power, but the absence of power, because men can't always just turn to violence when they don't like what women are doing.
In what looks to be a major step forward for women's rights in Saudi Arabia, earlier this week, domestic abuse was banned for the first time ever. Previous to this, it had been a private concern. It was something that was inside of the home, and the government had a very hands-off policy in regard to it. But earlier this week, it was outlawed. Offenders may face up to a year in prison and a maximum fine of 50,000 Saudi riyal, which is about $13,300 according to the Saudi Gazette. It will also provide shelter for the victims of this domestic abuse, and it will ensure that the identities of those who report the domestic abuse will be confidential, which is, of course, extremely important. Now, they are